Latest football news, engaging debates,
and fascinating opinions.
Pitchside talk on IO Radio. This is a big game here. Palace, they're looking to build on that win they got in the M23 derby. Sorry, Palace fans. But for Fulham, a victory here, if results go their way, they could be outside the relegation zone here.
It is, yeah. Massive game for Fulham, isn't it? Really important. And, with the run on form they're on, a brilliant win against Everton a few games ago, and then the win against Sheffield United. They're going to be full of confidence going into this game. Palace, they'll be confident as well coming off that derby win. But as you said, they've got so many injuries in their squad. The list is massive. So I just think Fulham are going to come into this important game. I know clubs tend, some clubs like to crumble under pressure, but I think Fulham will be okay in this one. I'm going to go for a Fulham win. And if Newcastle lose, then that's them out of the bottom three. 1-0 to Fulham.
Yeah, it's a big game. Obviously, Palace got the win in their derby, and that'll fill them full of confidence. I think that'll motivate them against this game, but they haven't got as much to play for as Fulham. I don't feel, with Palace, they'll just be sort of climbing around similar places in the table. They've got quite a lot of injuries. Fulham, on the other hand, this is huge to them. At the start of the season, I believe Jamie Carragher said after like 3 games that Fulham were already relegated, guaranteed, because of the defence and the way that Fulham have changed so much. I mean, they got obviously the win against Everton, win against Sheffield United, a draw against West Ham recently. Fulham looked like a good side. They managed to steal points off everybody. To be honest, at the moment they're an absolute nightmare to play, and I think Fulham will have it set in them that Newcastle are going to lose, and they're going to go and get out of this relegation zone. I just think that they've got so much on the line for them that they'll perform. So I'm going to go for a Fulham win, and I'm going to go for 2-1 to Fulham.
A big game here. Leicester, they could possibly go up to second place for a little bit of time for Manchester United to play. But for Arsenal, they're looking to sort of find a little bit of consistency. They've had a bit of inconsistency here and there. They've been getting losses. They've been getting wins. They haven't sort of got this sort of form that they had earlier, back in December. But this could be a good game for them with James Maddison possibly missing it.
Yeah, it is. Obviously, as you said, Arsenal are there. They're a bit inconsistent at the moment. Good win against Leeds, winning 4-2. But apart from that, their results haven't really looked great, have they? There's a lot of losses in there. So I think going away to Leicester is always going to be tough. And Leicester, on the other hand, they did get knocked out of the Europa League, obviously, and that was tough for them. But in the league, their form's pretty good. So maybe they'll miss James Maddison, but I still think Leicester have enough. I think they'll still be confident, and I think they still have enough to Overcome Arsenal. I'm going to go for a 1-0.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting game. 2 teams that obviously played Thursday. It'll be a big blow for Leicester, obviously getting dumped out of the Europa League and Maddison being injured. Arsenal, on the other hand, I think good performance from them. Coming back against Benfica. Arsenal seems to do well in patches of form. So, when they win a game, they seem to win the next few. And I think with Leicester losing, I think that will hurt them motivation-wise. I think Arsenal have definitely got a great chance of nicking something here. And I think that they'll go on to have another good run like they did a couple of months ago. So I'm going to go for an Arsenal win in this, and I'm going to go 2-1 to Arsenal.
So it's Tottenham versus Burnley today, and for Tottenham, Serge Aurier could feature after missing the last 5 games, but Lo Celso is going to face 7 more weeks on the sidelines with a hamstring problem. But the likes of Harry Kane and Heung-min Son are looking to possibly be starting this game after being rested in the Europa League game on the midweek. But for Burnley, Ashley Barnes has been ruled out with a 5 problem, but Robbie Brady could return to the side. But guys, at Tottenham, they need to start winning here. Yeah, they need to find consistency. They've had 2 losses now in a row. They're coming up against the Burnley side who have got results here and there, but they're still a little bit, I think we could say, in a relegation scrap. So 3 points for them is going to be very important.
It is, yeah. And as you said, Tottenham, they need to start winning. It seems to me that Tottenham, they keep slipping up against the teams above them. Except for Brighton a few games ago, they seem to be able to beat these sides down the bottom. Burnley, on the other hand, yeah, they need to start winning as well. It's getting tighter down the bottom, obviously, because of Fulham catching up. The gap's still quite big. I think it's 6 points still, so there's still still a gap, but they need to start picking up points to try and stretch that gap a little bit. But I think Tottenham, I think they have enough to win this game still, even with the bad form that they're on. So I'm going to go for a 1-0 to Tottenham.
Yeah, Burnley undefeated in 4. Got a win against Palace, but apart from that, they've looked good. A little bit lackluster, but they're starting to get down there, but they're still getting results for them. So it's still good. They've got a good chance against Tottenham. Obviously, Tottenham's been hurt in the league, lost to West Ham. On the other side of the coin for Tottenham, obviously a great win in the Europa League will definitely build confidence, and I think Mourinho will get a bounce back mentality out of them, especially from losing Derby. I think Tottenham will get the win, and I'm going to go for 3-1 to Tottenham.
So it's Chelsea versus Manchester United today, the biggest game of this weekend. And for Chelsea, Thomas Tuchel has confirmed there is no new fresh injuries concerns in his side. Thiago Silva is the only absentee from the side at this current moment in time. But for Manchester United, they are short on midfield options. McTominay, Van de Beek and James are all doubts for this game, whilst Pogba and Juan Mata have been ruled out as well. But Piers, this is a big game here. Chelsea, they drew last time out to Southampton in the Premier League, but they did get that statement victory over Atletico Madrid in the midweek in the Champions League. But for Manchester United, they got back to that win against Newcastle, but previous to that, they had 2 draws. They looked a bit shaky against big sides, but this game here, it's got a lot on the line.
Yeah, it's a huge game on the line. For me, sometimes I see it as a derby between Manchester United and Chelsea. Obviously, 2 successful clubs always been against each other over the years. 2 teams that are, fighting towards the top of the table. I would say Man United are probably just trying to get top 4 now. I think there's a huge gap between City just trying to get top 4 as well. Both teams, looking good. Both dropped some points recently. Obviously, Manchester United, they took out this illustrious away from home form, but they just managed to squeeze a draw against West Brom recently. Obviously, Chelsea had a draw against Southampton. Both teams obviously playing in Europe during the week. Chelsea a big statement against Atletico Madrid. I'm sure that will keep confidence very high. Man United already had the job done against Real Sociedad, so a 0-0 there. I think Chelsea are going to cause problems for Man United. I think Man United are playing a big team. They've played a lot of lower level teams and grabbed points and got themselves up there. But I think it's going to be a real challenge against Tuchel's Chelsea. I think Chelsea are going to come out the blocks fast and cause a lot of problems to Man United, and I think they'll get the win. I'm going to go for 3-1 to Chelsea.
So it's the final game for Sunday. It is Sheffield United versus Liverpool, and for Sheffield United, Bogle and Chris Basham have joined the list of Sheffield United players that are currently injured at the moment. They are now on the sidelines, but for Liverpool, John Henderson is not going to be playing for them now for at least 10 weeks after surgery on his groin. But Diego Jota can be involved in this game after recovering from his injury back in December, and the availability of Alisson has not been decided yet. But for everybody here at Pitch Talk, all our thoughts here go out to him and his family at this current time. But Piers, Sheffield United, a victory for them. If results go their way, they could go back up to 19th. They won't be rock bottom anymore. Hooray for them. But for Liverpool, they need to get back to winning. 4 straight defeats now in a row. This is unheard of from the champions, apparently the worst champions ever to defend the crown. But they could possibly go on level points here with Chelsea if they lose.
Yeah, I mean, Sheffield United, this is the best time to play Liverpool, a Liverpool team that have lost 4 games in a row. Obviously, Sheffield United haven't been doing great themselves. I still think they've got a ginormous task ahead in Liverpool just because they've lost 4 games. It's not that don't start thinking that's easy, because Liverpool are champions for a reason. They obviously had the win against Leipzig. Liverpool have been, I think, one of the most unluckiest teams this season. Obviously, Alisson, condolences to him and his family, but a ridiculous amount of injuries for Liverpool. I wouldn't say they're the worst champions. I remember when Chelsea won the league with Jose Mourinho, we ended up being 10th. So, it's not quite bad as that. You weren't 17th coming up to December. So, regardless of that, I think Liverpool will come out. I think they'll get this win against Sheffield United. They're still in the running order to getting into that top 4, although it's a big task for Liverpool. They've still got the talent in there, and with Jota coming back, if he can make his way into the game, he'll cause plenty of problems for Sheffield United. Although they are looking, with 3 losses obviously on the bounce for Sheffield United, they have looked not so terrible defensively in some of the games they've lost. But I'm definitely going to go for a Liverpool win, and I'm going to go for 2-0 to Liverpool.